Chapter 145 Immortal Boat. King Zhenan revealed an unbelievable expression. Even he couldn't guess just how much strength Kang Chon possessed right now. In this great Tang cultivation realm, there were only two youths that could make him impervious, and those were Zhao Wuji and the current Kang Chon. These two youthful powerhouses would be making a name for themselves in the Heavenly Dao sect in the near future. Kang Chon was very strong. Breaking through the fifth layer of the Jidan stage, his strength reached a terrifying level, coupled with the fact that his physical body had been tempered under the heavenly tribulation to be very powerful, making it so that even if he didn't use his magic treasures, he would be able to defeat an enemy of the same rank with just his fists. Although Li Yuanba was one level higher than Kang Chon, his strength was a few levels behind Kang Chon. He could not resist Kang Chon's overlord fist at all, and was almost pressed by Kang Chon without a single power to fight back. Soon, Li Yuanba was seriously injured by Kang Chon Overlord Gun. In the end, Li Yuanba took out the treasure weapon Overlord Lance, because without using the treasure weapon, he found that he was unable to support himself under Kang Chon's fist for half an hour. The other party's power was too strong. Finally using a treasure weapon. But even if you use a treasure weapon, you are still not my opponent. Kang Chon glanced at Li Yuanba and said indifferently, now that he had stepped into the Jidan stage and had also reached the fifth level of the Jidan stage realm in one fell swoop. It could be said that he was now no weaker than strong people of his age in terms of cultivation. Once there was no restriction of cultivation, with Kang Chon's unrivaled and powerful talent, he was almost invincible amongst his peers. Now if that Li Laoki was still alive, Kang Chon would be able to exterminate him with a single punch. This was absolute strength. Although the treasure weapon was powerful, Kang Chon still didn't care. His body was comparable to a peak spirit weapon, and it was only a step behind the lower grade treasure weapon grade Overlord Spear in Li Yuanba's hand. Possessing thick true essence and an incomparably powerful physical body, Kang Chon's heart of invincibility grew stronger and stronger, and his entire person naturally exuded an overbearing aura of looking down upon the world at all times. This domineering aura had already penetrated deep into the bone marrow, forming Kang Chon's unique aura. It was only at this moment that people realized that the name Overlord was so appropriate for Kang Chon, who was simply a natural-born overlord, exuding an unparalleled overbearing aura with every move he made. HMPH. Facing such a strong Kang Chon, Li Yuanba was silent and speechless. He just snorted coldly and ran his overlord gun to kill. A treasure weapon was a treasure weapon, and as he stabbed out with his spear, the wind swept out and the terrifying energy formed a vast torrent that rushed in. The crowd watching the battle was shocked. Worthy of being a treasure weapon, this strike was incomparably powerful. The aura was incomparably majestic. It was simply unstoppable. But Kang Chon still had an indifferent face. His cold eyes did not fluctuate in the slightest. He directly blasted out with a fist. The surging true essence swept out, instantly forming a Yangtze river rushing out. Dazzling light illuminated the entire space. Hegemony fist, 30% hegemony. Kang Chon's punch was not just a simple hegemony fist. As he executed the hegemony fist, that powerful intent was also sent out with it. A powerful pressure instantly reaching him, causing the entire space to tremble. Boom! Li Yuanba's body instantly sank. An unbelievable look appeared in his eyes. This powerful pressure made his entire body seem, if he was imprisoned, as if a huge mountain was pressing down on him. Break it for me. Li Yuanba couldn't help but roar out in anger. His overlord lance erupted with a blazing light as he broke through the powerful pressure, and once again killed Kang Chon. But unfortunately, his power had shrunk a lot at this moment. The pressure of 30% of his intent was incomparably powerful. Even Li Yuanba had spent a considerable amount of effort to get rid of it. And at this moment, Kang Chon's fist had come after him and clashed with Li Yuanba. At that moment, hundreds of gunshots and hundreds of fist shadows collided together, erupting into a blazing light. And a terrifying air current flew ***** between the two of them, and a powerful energy storm raged out, and the entire space was in chaos. Boom! After the two sides stalemated for just a few moments, a huge force surged steeply above Kang Chon's fist, sending Li Yuanba flying out in one fell swoop. Li Yuanba seemed to be in disbelief. His face was filled with shock, and his entire body was trembling. Everyone changed color. Kang Chon was simply strong to the point of invincibility. Even in the face of Li Yuanba, who possessed a treasure weapon, he was only repelled by a single punch. How terrifying was this kind of strength? I'm afraid that a Yuanying stage powerhouse would be nothing more than that. In fact, the people do not know. Kang Chon has already exerted his strongest power at this moment, with 30% of the intention to enhance the King's Fist. In the attack power above is not weaker than the broken sky. Is Kang Chon's one of the strongest attacks? After all, Li Yuanba's strength is not trivial, has a treasure weapon under the support. Kang Chon naturally dare not be careless. The first hand is the intention of all out. This time also thanks to the inverse heavenly cauldron. In the 8th wave of heavenly thunder, Kang Chon suffered a serious injury. Is the inverse heavenly cauldron spewed out of the life energy saved his life. But also at that moment, Kang Chon in the Ghost Gate walked a trip, comprehended the intention of the third realm. 30% of intention. I'm afraid no one will believe it. No one in the cultivation world has just broken through the Jidan stage, and then had 30% of the idea. Even among the Yuanying stage, the ones who have comprehended 30% of the idea are in the minority. Such a powerful enlightenment was shocking. The power of the treasure weapon is indeed good. Next you also receive a slash from me. Kang Chon saw that his punch only repelled Li Yuanba, but a trace of disappointment flashed in front of his eyes. He coldly gazed at Li Yuanba and slowly drew out the long black blade behind his back, a blazing cold light emanating from above the icy cold blade. Li Yuanba possessed a treasure weapon. His strength had increased a lot. Kang Chon couldn't defeat him without exerting his true strength. Although Broken Sky was similar to the Hegemony Fist, once 30% of the intent was added on, the power would be raised to a new level. More importantly, Kang Chon was now able to fully utilize the power of this long black blade. When Kang Chon was merely at the foundation establishment stage, he was simply unable to refine a spiritual weapon. So he was unable to bring out the power of the long black blade. But now it was different. He had already advanced to the Jidan stage. And just now, he had already secretly refined this long black blade. Broken Sky. Kang Chon let out a low cry, raising the black long blade high and slashing down vertically. At this moment, he felt that his entire person was one with the black long knife. He was the knife. The knife was him. This was how the realm of human knife unity was. Li Yuanba immediately felt a fatal crisis. His whole body cold hairs immediately stood up. Under the crisis, Li Yuanba's whole body's true essence was poured into the Overlord gun in his hand. And at once the Overlord gun erupted with a blazing light. The dazzling divine light made the whole space a bright one. He stabbed out with his spear, a strike that gathered the strength of his entire body, completely exploding at this moment, and clashed with the sabron that split down in the sky. Rumble, great collision, the brilliant blade aura and the blazing spear aura clashed together, and the terrifying energy instantly caused the earth where the two of them were located to tremble, and a huge crack followed their feet, spreading rapidly towards the surroundings like a volcano had erupted. The strongest blade and the strongest gun, who wins and who loses? The crowd outside the arena were gazing intently. Everyone's hearts were filled with anticipation. In front of them, this was the full force strike of two of the greatest powerhouses of the young generation of the Great Tang cultivation sector. A strike that had already inflicted damage on a Yuanying stage powerhouse. This terrifying collision caused the life and death stage, which had already been in a state of disrepair, to completely turn into flying dust. The place where Kang Chan and Li Yuanba were seen to form a sun. The blazing light turned into a matchless energy that instantly swept across the entire heaven and earth. The surrounding earth, debris, trees and so on, were all engulfed by the violent energy and turned into nothingness. When this terrifying energy storm disappeared, the two men stood still in the center of the field. Staring at each other for an instant, Kang Chan's expression remained unchanged, and his face was still bland. Li Yuanba, however, had a pale face, and in the end, he couldn't help but spray out a mouthful of blood. His eyes filled with unwillingness, resentment, anger and other colors. Defeated, even with the Overlord gun, he was still defeated so completely. Li Yuanba's heart turned over. His entire being suffered a huge blow. His invincible faith was completely shattered by the heavens. His entire being was shaking. His face was green and purple. You have a good family. Otherwise today is the day you die. Kang Chan indifferently glanced at Li Yuanba and said coldly. Then he put away his long black sword and walked in the direction of the viewing platform. Behind him, when Li Yuanba heard Kang Chan's words, he couldn't help but spray out a mouthful of blood once again, his face getting paler and paler. Kang Chan did not kill him because he was concerned about the Li family. Li Yuanba smiled miserably at his words. He had become famous as a teenager. His fame had shaken the great Tang cultivation world. He had been listed as one of the 4 emperors of the imperial capital. He was the pinnacle of the young generation of the great Tang cultivation world. It was such a great sight to behold. However, today it was all gone, all crushed by Kang Chan's punch. He had become a complete and utter loser. The intense blow caused Li Yuanba's heart and mind to suffer a grievous and heavy blow, and he once again spewed out a mouthful of blood as his entire body completely planted itself down and directly fell unconscious. Swish swish, the several elders of the Li family hurriedly flew over and brought Li Yuanba away in a sorry state. The 9 princesses on the viewing platform at Kang Chan with an ugly face. As she walked towards him, she let out a cold snort and left the place as well. Jin San Xiao and the others, on the other hand, were thrilled and excited as they greeted Kang Chan and hugged him. Truly, old me is completely convinced of you. Next time I won't fight you unless I'm 10 realms above you. Lei Yun patted Kang Chan's shoulder and laughed. Kang Chan was speechless at his words. 10 realms. How dare this guy think? If he was 10 realms higher, he wouldn't be looking for Lei Yun to fight. Jin San Xiao laughed and joked. Now that Kang Chan has stepped into the Jidan stage, your cultivation speed in the future may not be as fast as his. If you don't work hard, I'm afraid you'll be 10 realms behind him. Isn't it true? As soon as Kang Chan broke through the Jidan stage, he was directly promoted to the 5th layer of the Jidan stage. This speed can't be said to be fast. Of course, they were unaware that Kang Chan had used heavenly thunder to exercise his physical body. Otherwise his cultivation might not have reached the 5th level of the Jidan stage. Moreover, Kang Chan's heavenly tribulation was very powerful and received a lot of gifts from the heavenly Tao, directly allowing him to advance a level, which was incomparable to other heavenly tribulations. This was a case of fortune and misfortune. The stronger the heavenly tribulation that Kang Chan had survived, the greater the benefits he received. The heavenly Tao was absolutely fair. Let's go to the heavenly Tao building to celebrate. Jin San Xiao ended up pulling Kang Chan towards the heavenly Tao building. Lei Yun, Liu Suifeng, Wang Yong, Wang Tixiong, and the others also went with him. And there were also some young jungles who worshipped Kang Chan, who also cheekily followed. Im Zhaolinga had wanted to go along as well, but she immediately thought that she had placed a bet on Kang Chan to win at the casino, so she hurriedly went to collect the money. Jin San Xiao was very sad about this. because the casino where Zhao Linga placed her bet was owned by his family. And this time he really lost a lot of money because Zhao Linga's bet was very big, causing him to lose a lot of money. It was good that the other casinos helped him win a lot, otherwise he wouldn't even have the money to treat himself this time. Heaven's Path Building. Kang Chon, Jin San Xiao, Lei Yun, Liu Suifeng, Hua Wanyong, and a group of other young talents gathered together. Everyone's face was covered with smiles. This time, the main reason was to celebrate Kang Chon stepping into the Jidan stage and defeating Li Laoqi and Li Yuanba, becoming famous in one battle.